Oral supplementation are important, but are not sufficient to help your skin. For that purpose, you have to apply directly on the skin the necessary supplements. What I'm going to suggest for you now is how to and what kind of supplements I highly recommend for the summertime. So let's start. The first thing that you put on is you put a serum, ideally a vitamin C serum. And I'll show you also how to put it on, especially as time goes by, our bone, our fat, all those things are going down. And if you see vitamin C, it has to be in a dark, tinted vial in order to protect it from the sun because it gets deactivated. So the way I do it after I wash my hands, I apply it into the palm of my hand and I right away close the vial, and from here I apply it onto the skin. I start with the eyes, under the eyes, and then I apply it the rest of the face. I can put it like that, and then I do like all over, and I also, whatever residual I put on my neck, you can also put in here, and you can also massage it into the scalp. When you apply it on, it's important that you also do the massage for the face. It doesn't have to take long, but it has to be consistent. Doing like that is helpful with an upward motion. Why? Because it will help make sure that the bone realizes that there is some tension on it. If the bone does not feel tension on it, it will slowly resorb, and you'll have the typical resorption of the chin, it falls back, you have a resorption of the maxillary sinuses, the orbital rim, so all those things need to be a little bit massaged this way, okay? Now, the next thing after that is you want to use a moisturizer. You can choose whichever moisturizer you want, especially the ingredients. They have to be natural ingredients. Here I'm using one that I personally love, it's Latinica. But there are many that you can use depending on the purpose of what you're trying to do. And here it shows you how much you need to use by this nice handle, but again, you can use it with your hand. And I usually don't have time, so I just use it with my hand. You put it on top of that. Not all things you can do together, so you have to look at the ingredients, make sure they can go. But the first thing should be the vitamin C. After you put the moisturizer on, with ideally upward motions, under the eyes you don't want to rub it ideally, you just want to tap it, right? You want to finish that off with a sun protection. Now the sun protection, as you've seen on my blog, there's a lot of details, but ideally it should be a physical blocker. So when you look at it, zinc or titanium, micronized, not nanoparticles, and we're going to show you how much to apply. And if you remember, we said half a teaspoon or like a shot glass will be enough for the face and neck. You just apply it on your hand, and this is enough, more than enough for the whole face. Now the reason I like it also tinted is because it allows you to see how much you need. So here we're going to apply it, and you'll see. You start with the nose, then you go to the other parts, and then you can rub it on your hands like that. Just make sure you don't apply it on your nice clothes because it's tough to wash off, and you can put it here. Now there are questions about the effect that some of those sunblocks can have on hair, and a lot of us are putting it into the hairline. Some people think that the makeup has sufficient amount of sun protection in it. It's not true. It will stop working in 2 hours from the moment you put it. So if you put it on and then you're going to eat and then you're doing all the other things, don't forget your lips, behind the ears, the brows. Those are the chemical sunblocks. In the makeups, they will stop working in 2 to 4 hours, usually 2 hours even. And then you just make sure that it's even. And then you have the protection. Yes, vitamin C does get deactivated in the sun, but it's on your skin, it will help protect it. It's a defense mechanism, and by using a sunblock on top of it, especially a physical sunblock, which remains unless you wash it off, you're able to allow the vitamin C to be another shield. It's kind of like I tell people, you go outdoors in the wintertime, you don't just go with your t-shirt. You have a sweater on top, you may have a coat on top of that. This is exactly what you do in the summertime for your skin to reduce the aging. Sometimes people say, oh, well, I go into the sun, I love the tan, I love the glow it gives me. The glow that you get from the sun exposure is from the swelling that happens from the inflammation that leads to breakdown of your collagen. So that produces collagenase, an enzyme that breaks your collagen. And the inflammation causes some swelling. But then what happens when the inflammation is over is you start to lose the elasticity, lose the collagen, and that causes you to age. So you need to understand why it happens to prevent it. So protecting your skin with sun protection will not make you lose vitamin D, will not cause, if you use the right ingredients, any harmful effects, but in fact will allow you to remain healthier, more youthful for a longer period of time. And let's make sure that we don't have any residual CC. These areas, they will have a little bit left, You just go in and just massage it, and that's enough for the entire area. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us